Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to, of course, firstly acknowledge the acting PAS and the team at Fiji Procurement Office and re-echo his sentiments in respect of the assistance that was provided by the Republic of Fiji Military Forces and the Fijian Police Force to help us distribute such large quantities of food rations in a short period of time. I'd like to thank them very much for that. Over the past couple of weeks, as you know, that we have been making a number of assessments in respect of the situation, in particular for those people who've had been stopped from going to work because of the very occupations that they have, because of the health protocols that have also been put in place. Of course, this has been thought out in conjunction with already the assistance that's being provided through the unemployment benefit. As you know, government at the moment is paying about $220 a fortnight for those people who do not have any more funds left in the FNPF general account. We have already expended over $158 million for this particular purpose, and will continue to do so into the foreseeable future. With the health protocols that have been put in place, in particular for Nandi and Lautoka, as you know, with the changes that did take place, it has been lengthened. The days have in fact become longer in containment. And we've had always looked at how can we provide assistance, but at the same time ensuring that it goes to the right people, at the same time also ensuring that the health protocols are also maintained, and that there is no abuse and the sustainability built into that particular program. We have, of course, as you know, as highlighted by the Acting Permanent Secretary, the reality of the matter is we found out in the weekend there were a number of people who obviously tried to bypass the system. We had people from the same family, 4 or 5 people, ringing in, claiming to be from different households, etc., and that's why the cleaning of the data was necessary. We also had, of course, a number of requests, and some of you may have seen it. We had people, one particular one that I think may be of interest, by a person called Evaniva J.T. Rosa, saying, my request for 161 food rations is Kelro's rice, 5 kilograms, don't want any other rice brand. FMF 5 kilogram flour, not Punja's flour. 3 red cow powder milk, not just one small pack, Dhavango. I need chicken number 12 by 3, number 12 size by 3. Basically saying also that the tin fish is eaten by my dog, and I need the chicken, and a cash of $220. There's a number of examples that I can give to you in respect of the very interesting requests that have been made. In light of also, as highlighted by the Acting Permanent Secretary, that there were some people, of course, and their team had facilitated that. Some people had wanted, for example, access to various other items other than the food items that we were giving, for example, whether it was diapers, etc. Having taken all of these things into account, we have come up with a system that will provide assistance in particular to those people in the contained areas of Nandi and Lautoka, and then of course in the areas of Lami, Suva and Nasinu to be followed. And this will be by way of providing assistance to them, giving them access to cash, which they themselves then can use to buy what they think is important for them. And this, of course, will be given by way of a system where we can have accountability. We've already spoken to the telecommunication companies, and we will be using the M-Pesa platform and also My Cash platform through Digicel. As announced by the Acting Permanent Secretary also, if you look at the value of the food items that we provided was about $43, which of course included also the cartage cost, the packaging cost that was involved. So we will be giving 2 lots of $45, which amounts to $90 as a grocery payment to those people living in the Nandi Lotoka area. Just to put into perspective, there's, according to the Bureau of Statistics, there's 140,000 people living in the Nandi Lotoka corridor. If you take from Momi to all the way up to Matawalu village, or just past Matawalu village near Drasa. Now, if you take, say, 4 people per household, so if you do some simple mathematics, it gives you about 35,000 households. Now, of course, out of the 35,000 households, not everybody is unemployed. There are some people who are obviously working, and also there are some people who are already on unemployment benefits. So this particular benefit that we'll be giving to those needy families or households will be for those who currently do not get unemployment benefits, will be for those who cannot actually go to work, either because the business or the occupation that they have is not operational. So one classic point, of course, is somebody who's working as a hairdresser or as a hairdressing business. There may be some people who are working as waiters and waitresses because the restaurants may not be running at their full capacity. They, of course, won't be able to get access to wages and salaries. If they do not have FNPF, if they cannot access their FNPF account because they don't actually have an active FNPF account, then they'll be entitled to this particular benefit. So out of the 35,000 households, even if we take a high-end number from that and say 20,000 households would actually apply, then we're looking at somewhere in excess of about $1.8 million or so. And that will be disbursed through the M-Pesa or the MyCash system. Now, what you'll have to do, and one of the things that we did find, and also in order to ensure that we have proper accountability, having spoken to the telecommunication companies, people will need to text their name, their address, their location, the number of people in the household, if they have an FNPF number, and then we will then be able to identify that they actually are from that particular area, because the mobile phone companies can actually tell us that the text message is coming from Nandi, not necessarily, say, from Koralevu along the Coral Coast or somewhere else. And by that verification, then of course we'll be able to disburse the funds. The people, when they receive the funds through the M-Pesa account, they can then of course go and purchase their groceries, or they can, of course, in some places, in some of the outlets, they can encash or take out cash. We ask people to please use these funds responsibly. This does not mean that some people may not take out the cash to buy cigarettes or buy yangona, but there may be lots of people who may actually take out the cash because they want to buy diapers, they want to buy formula, or they may want to buy sugar or salt or potatoes or onions, whatever the case may be. So we ask, there's a particular level of trust we are placing on the citizens of Fiji who will be actually the beneficiaries of this particular initiative that we put in place. We have to ensure that there is proper accountability. There needs to be a new culture of honesty about this, and please, we urge everybody that we have actually tried to come up with a much better system, and this is the best system to be able to deliver the accessibility to those Fijians to be able to buy basic food items or various other items that they want to access. The Suvarnasori corridor and Lami, Nakasi, etc., according to Bureau of Statistics, the figures we received has about 270,000 persons. So therefore, you're looking at, on 4 people per family, you're looking at about 67,500 households. There, of course, are some people who are receiving the FNPF unemployment benefits. By you texting, we'll also be able to verify whether you are actually receiving the unemployment benefits or not, because we don't want people to double dip. As we saw on the weekend, there are some people who are trying to double dip. And please don't do that. We urge you to do that. These are trying times. And we want to be able to ensure that the mechanisms we put in place, there's a lot of sustainability in it. As the Permanent Secretary for Health has highlighted, we do not know actually what can happen in respect to some of the results that may come out. So if there's a longer period of lockdown or other parts of Fiji that may be into lockdown, we have to ensure that we have a sustainable policy in place to be able to cater for all Fijians who actually deserve to be assisted. So, again, you're looking at about 270,000 persons in the Suvarnasori-Lami-Nakasi corridor, 67,500 households, and even if you take 30,000 households that will be entitled to the $90, looking at in excess of about $2.5, $2.6 million. We have also catered for those people who are outside the contained areas, but actually cannot go to work because Ministry of Health has specifically said that those businesses or occupations cannot actually operate, or those people cannot actually carry out their trade. So, for example, the hairdresser in Singatoka cannot go to work because hairdressing salons are closed. And that can also be the same for a person in Tavua or Mba or wherever else, even Lambasa. So those people would also be entitled to that, and they have to be specifically from those occupations. We've already done an assessment through the various municipalities as to how many barber shops there are in each town. We all need a license, so we know exactly what number of businesses there are, so at least we can keep a tab in respect of there being no particular abuse. There may be some people, we've tried to cater for everybody. There's some people who, for example, may not wish to text or aren't good at texting. Some people may feel a bit hesitant to do so because they feel that they cannot write well. They can phone in. But we prefer people to text. If you text, you actually get a much faster response rate, a much faster disbursement into your M-Pesa or your MyCash account. There are some people who may want to also give their bank account details. And that too, you can text and say, my bank account number so-and-so in so-and-so bank. Then we can, of course, transfer those monies in there. We hope to now have this running on foot from Thursday. Tomorrow we are finalizing all the technical aspects of it, and we'll also be then giving out specific numbers, and we probably would retain some of the numbers we've used in the past. Whether it's 161, we get another number for that particular purpose, but like I said, we prefer text messages. You can see what happens when people send email messages. They want all sorts of other things. So text messaging is better. And then we hope to have this started on Thursday. We are at this point in time, through the technical aspects, we want to try out with one smaller area. So we will in all likelihood start off with Nandi, which is from Momi Junction to Lomo Lomo, which is the Ministry of Health cordon-off area for Nandi. And people in that area would be able to dial first, and then we can start off with Lotoka the next day. So we just want to pilot with Nandi very quickly. And we again urge the people of Nandi to please make sure that when you do text, that you're a genuine recipient, and that also that you don't have 4 or 5 people sitting around from the same household and also texting all together, because we've seen that happen in the past too. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the new initiative that we wanted to announce, and of course, we have to ensure that we use the funds that we have, whether they have been received through government borrowings or whether it's been through because of various direct budget supports from various bilateral partners. We have a mandate to ensure, as per the financial regulations, that we have proper accountability. And this is why we have carried out it in this particular fashion. I'd like to thank the telecom companies for coming on board. The Vodafone, for example, has agreed to waiver the fees in respect of any of the charges that they have for this particular initiative. but it will also help people. Those people, we're giving them enough notice now. This is why we wanted to make the announcement tonight, that if they don't actually have an M-Pesa account or don't have a MyCash account, it gives them tomorrow to actually get on to those accounts, fill out your details, and in that way, when we do actually commence this particular initiative on Thursday, you'll be able to then immediately put in your details and be able to get the funds. The way it works, the system works, is that the Ministry of Economy will transfer a certain amount of funds to the Vodafone trust account in respect of M-Pesa. And as the text messages come through, they do get verified. We'll have a Ministry of Economy staff member at Vodafone also. Text messages get verified. And so they may say, okay, we've got 1,000 people that are ready to go. So that's 1,000 multiplied by $90. And that immediately gets transferred into the M-Pesa accounts. And of course, they use those funds from the monies that we've transferred and put it into their accounts, into the Vodafone account. So that's how the system works. And that's what we wanted to announce.